I'm going to try to keep this short because nobody has a lot of spare time this time of year, but I wanted to take just a few seconds and talk about why the Cookies team in Microsoft Teams is going to be replaced in January. There's a talk I have in my first year seminar, my public speaking, and my interpersonal communication classes about the difference between learning and, on the other hand, doing college. And there are a lot of people who do college as damage control, and they play it just not to get bad grades. And then there are people who treat college like a video game, and they try to keep a 4.0 intact, but they also tend to treat classes almost like they're clearing levels. And as soon as they get to the end of a class, they figure they can forget all of it because all they really wanted was the grade. But it's possible to treat college as a good gift from God, as an opportunity to study and learn that not everybody necessarily gets. And if you're going to do that, and if you're going to glorify God with the way that you approach college, that involves doing it with integrity and approaching it as an opportunity to learn. You have friendships, you have powerful supportive relationships, and all of those have been opportunities to learn about another person. And you don't do that by cramming, and you don't do that by forgetting what you learned previously. Same thing with your hobbies. You learn, you grow in them. Many of you play a sport. You learn, you grow in how you play the sport. You don't do it with a kind of shortcut taking that far too commonly we bring to school. What I'm going to do in January, I'm going to create a new team called Learning. And there'll be several channels on that team. One of the channels will be named Cookie Announcements. If you join that team, you will have the option to mute all the other channels to where you get no notifications from them and just tune into the cookie announcements. But right there, those other channels will be opportunities for us to do things like exchange tips, for us to make plans to support one another, to put up devotional material to where we can pray for one another, all of it aimed at doing something. Every time I have that talk in my classes, I say that if a critical mass of us committed together to approach college as learning and not as doing college, what we could all do together is we could transform the culture of the school. So that team, Learning, which if you join it, that's where you'll get the cookie announcements and you'll have access to everything else. That is my attempt to try to get the ball rolling on that. I'm going to leave the Cookies team up until January, and then I'll put out an announcement right as school is getting started that if people want to know, if people want to find out when cookies are coming to campus, they'll need to join the Learning team because those announcements will be in the Cookie Announcements channel on that team. And then at that point, I'm going to archive the Cookies team. So that is what's going to happen in January.